What is good, everyone? Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a deep dive into my psyche to talk about the kinds of things that I have internalized about Japanese society, behaviors and manners, so that I don't even really think about it and my character has actually changed. Yes, that's right. Today I'm going to be talking about how I've turned Japanese. Of course, when you live in a foreign country, you're going to pick up behaviors and manners as a matter of course, just to function in the society. For example, I take my shoes off when I enter a house, and I use chopsticks when I eat. And some of these things I would continue to do even if I were to move back to the States. If I had a house in the States, I'd still take my shoes off. But what I want to talk about goes deeper than that. Behaviors and sort of ways of thinking that have just been internalized, things that have changed me from being kind of American about them to being more Japanese. I've got 3 examples. This is not an exhaustive list because it's the kind of thing that it's hard to pinpoint. You know, you really have to think carefully about how you may have changed. But for now, 3 things. The first one is pace of life. Japan is famously a punctual country. We all know that. The trains run on time. Meetings start on time. When you go to meet your friends for an event, you're going to be on time. Actually, you're probably going to be early. The first work party I ever attended actually ended on time. We were all walking around, pouring each other's drinks, laughing, talking, and then suddenly, like there was some hidden cue, everyone shuffled back to their original place. The principal of the school where I was working at the time got up, said a speech, bonsai, 9 o'clock, we're done. And every single office party after that was exactly the same, always ending exactly at 9 p.m. But that punctuality is actually combined with a lack of hurriedness. When you commute to work, you're probably going to have a 5, 10, 15-minute walk from the station to wherever you're going. And I'm a kind of a fast walker, but not really. But I pass everyone in the morning. No one really seems to be in any sort of hurry. You might say, well, I remember Tokyo, it was crazy, it was frenetic. But actually the pace of individual people isn't that fast. It's just Tokyo, there's so many people, it seems fast-paced. Japanese factor in those walks into their commute. And you get off the train, you've got plenty of time to get to your work, so you're not hurrying. So you have this attitude that there's no reason to hurry up and wait. So there's a lot more patience involved. So even though it's punctual, it's not frantic or hurried. Even if you commute by car or you ride the bus to work, it's going to be the same thing because you are a slave to traffic in those situations. There's always going to be some stoplights along your route where you're going to have to wait 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 red lights before you actually get through. And so you just develop a lot of patience. I can sit in a traffic jam now and just not be worried about it because I've planned enough time. And that's just how I've internalized it as well. If I'm back in America and my parents complain about the traffic that we're in, I just think, you have no idea. This is not traffic. The second thing that I've really internalized and that has changed about me is the appreciation of food. Now, I don't mean appreciation of Japanese cuisine, I mean appreciation of food itself. I don't really know how to describe this, but I would say that Americans think about food like a chemistry experiment. It's all about, well, how many grams of protein does this have? And does it have 100% daily dosage of vitamin F? And how many percentage fat-free is this? It's like you're thinking about it in terms of the nutritional contents, and that's how the companies sell it too. I mean, all the commercials are like, this is 99% fat-free, blah, blah, blah. It's got your 100% of daily calcium and vitamin D. Like, that's how things are sold. In Japan, it's not like that. You're concerned about two things when it comes to food: the freshness and seasonality, and where it came from. So those two things are just kind of baked into the consciousness of ordinary people. It's covered that way in the media. Everyone knows that the best growing region in Japan for lemons is Hiroshima. Everyone knows that grapes come from Yamanashi and that apples are going to come from Aomori or maybe Nagano. So where your food comes from and where the best food comes from is just common knowledge. The other thing is what season it is. So is it going to be really fresh? People travel in Japan just to go to the place where something is best when it's in season. Right now in Shonan, the beach district that's southwest of Tokyo, the shirasu season is in full swing. Shirasu is whitebait in English. It's basically like a bunch of little minnows that you pile onto rice, add ginger and shoyu or soy sauce, and it's delicious. It's amazing, and it's in season right now. So everyone, get on the train, get on the bus, head south to Kamakura and Enoshima, get your shirasu don, which is the rice bowl with the whitebait fish on it, and it's delicious. People will get on bus tours just to go out to Yamanashi, eat some grapes, buy some grapes to bring home, and that's the entire day out. It's internalized for me that way too. When I go to the supermarket, I'm not reading labels to see how many calories something is. I'm saying, oh, okay, these tomatoes are from Kumamoto, so they're legit. Oh, great, passion fruit are in season, up from Kagoshima, excellent. So it's just become a matter of course for me as well. The final thing is probably the deepest one of this episode, and the best way to describe it is I have become unconsciously conscientious. Japan has made me far more aware of what others are experiencing or feeling around me. In Japanese, it's referred to as kuki o yomu, or reading the atmosphere in English. So we have that concept in English, but it's taken to a whole another level in Japan. And sort of being attentive to how you're behaving and how your manners are in any situation is just part of Japanese culture and Japanese life. And when you first get to Japan, it's hard. You know immediately tourists because of how they act and how they're really standing out, and not just physically looking standing out. I first realized how hard I was trying to get a hang on this when I left Japan for the first time after living here for about 3 years. And I went to Italy, and I found myself on the train or in restaurants carefully watching Italian people, trying to pick up on their mannerisms and their behaviors, thinking, I just want to try to fit in. And then I realized, wait a second, they're Italian. They don't care. They're not looking at me. They're not paying attention to how I'm behaving. So I just kind of relaxed and enjoyed myself. But it really made me understand how I'd been acting in Japan up to that point, trying to pay close attention to how I was behaving so that I could fit in. And nowadays, it's pretty much unconscious. By now, I'm confident if I'm in a new situation or meeting completely new people, it's going to go smoothly. I don't think about how to fit in anymore. And it's evidenced by the fact that people treat me very differently these days. For the first few years in Japan, it's like an unconscious understanding that someone hasn't been in Japan for very long. You recognize that, and you get treated different. People will strike up conversations with you. Hey, where are you from? How long are you here? What do you like about Japan? Those things just never happen anymore. I don't get into those conversations, except maybe as a conversation starter with someone I've just been introduced to. Now, honestly speaking, I kind of miss those days. It was kind of nice standing out and getting attention, because yeah, I have kind of an attention getting streak in me. Hello, YouTube channel. But I also appreciate now that I can basically blend in and in a way be accepted as just, oh, this is someone who knows what he's doing, so he's all right. You might ask, well, why bother? Why don't you just be American and not worry so much about what other people think and just be yourself? Well, I guess I really wanted to fit in, first of all, because I didn't want to be that foreigner, right? I didn't want to be the person who had no idea what was going on, just living in my own bubble. I wanted to be as accepted as possible into Japanese society, and I guess show that foreigners can do that. Like, we are capable of learning the behaviors and manners and fitting in, at least so far as our daily actions are. I mean, I'm never really gonna fit in so well looking the way I do, but action-wise I can show I function in society, and it's become unconscious. I don't have to think about it anymore, which is really nice. I want to thank you very, very much for watching this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I drop a new video about Japan, society, culture, lifestyle every single Friday, so please look for those. Please look for my past content. I've got a lot of videos since I've been doing this for about 1.5 years. But again, thank you so much for watching this one, and I will catch you next time.